The Chinese Foreign Ministry has said that the troops had disengaged at 4 places in eastern Ladakh, including Galwan Valley. This statement comes after S. J. Shankar said that 75% of the disengagement problems had been sorted out. The Chinese military said that India and China have agreed during their meeting in Russia to work together to create conditions for improvement of bilateral relations. Asked whether the two countries were close to a breakthrough to revive the bilateral ties frozen for over 4 years due to the military standoff in eastern Ladakh, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Mao Ying said that the two militaries realized disengagements in 4 areas and the situation along the border is stable. She also highlighted the meeting between National Security Advisor Ajit Doval and Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi held talks on the sidelines of the meeting of the BRICS high-ranking officials in Russia's St. Petersburg, where they discussed the progress made in the recent consultations on border issues. We are being joined by Major General G.G. Dwivedi. He is a defense expert. So, Major General G.G. Dwivedi, now as we can see, China has also responded after S. J. Shankar said that 75% of disengagement has happened. And do you think that this will revive the bilateral ties between India and China?
Well, we need to go a little bit into the background because the whole issue started off, fresh tension started on the border sometime in May 2020 when the Chinese undertook unprovoked incursions across the LAP in 5 sectors. That is Demchok, then north of Pegongso, Hot Spring area, Galwan and DBO. And incidentally, I commanded my battalion here, so I can give you the ground perspective to the viewers. Now, thereon, what happened was that these talks started between the military level commanders, and India also took one initiative. We went on to occupy Kailash Range, which is on the south of Pegongso. Now, 21 rounds of talk have taken place, and yes, that's true, that in 4 places there have been disengagement. These are south of Pegongso, which we had occupied as a response to Chinese incursion, north of Pegongso, Hot Spring area and Galwan. But there have been no disengagement in the Demchok area and in DBO area, and the Chinese have kept lingering on, and the talks almost stand stalled. Now, in this, we need to understand that why Chinese are not willing to go back into these 2 areas. Firstly, DBO. DBO is very critical and strategically important because it gives depth to the Karakoram and the Karakoram highway, and so also Demchok also gives certain moderate tactical advantage. Second point is, while disengagement has taken place, but there is no de-escalation. Still, there are almost 60,000 troops from each side facing each other, and Chinese have gone in for massive upgrade of infrastructure both in eastern Ladakh and also in Tibet opposite Arunachal Pradesh. Now, the point is that these 2 areas are the area of contention, and this is what actually was stated by Dr. Jaishankar, that between Mr. Doval and Wang Yi, who is the NSA, also the foreign minister and a very powerful person in Chinese hierarchy, that these 2 areas need to be resolved. Now here, we need to also go into 2 important issues. One is that after the disengagement is over, including these 2, the status of LAC has changed. LAC was patrolled during my times. We had 65 patrolling points. But today, 29 patrolling points are not being patrolled because they are buffer zones today, and that has changed the status of the LAC. And second, we have to understand the larger design of the Chinese, the way they have upgraded the infrastructure, the way they have militarized the LAC. Now, that is what is worrisome. And even if disengagement takes place, we have to see at de-escalation and the Chinese larger design. Over to you, Dia.
All right. So, when we're talking about disengagement, the bigger issue has been the increasing militarization of the frontier. What can you tell us? How do we de-escalate this situation, considering the ongoing talks now? S.J. Shankar has also talked about it, and National Security Advisor Ajit Doval talked with the Chinese counterpart Wang Yi. So how do we approach this situation?
Well, as I brought out that there are two issues. One is disengagement, one is de-escalation. Disengagement is the troops where they are eyeball to eyeball. They need to come back like in the other four places. And of course, the buffer zone have been created. But de-escalation means that you have to reduce the quantum of troops that are on the line of actual control. And before the May 2020, there's no major presence of troops. The LAC was patrolled, as I brought out earlier. But today, the level of deployment on the LAC has increased multifold. And this we need to understand the larger design of Chinese, because Chinese are claiming the Ladakh area right up to the, their line, or they perceive the LAC, that is the 1959 line. And secondly, they are claiming Arunachal Pradesh. As the whole state, they call it Nanzang. That is, they feel, or their perception is that this is part of their territory. Alongside, they have also brought in a border control agreement or border control. There was a kind of a legislation passed where they have decided to demarcate the border and also change the names of the places on the border area, where 65 places name have been changed. Simultaneously, they also brought in a concept of Xiao Khang, that is the border villages. They have almost built 660 border villages very close to the LAC, about 1/3 of them, which are going to act like their frontline post or their forward location.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.